Hi, people of the world watching car-related internet videos. Welcome to this. My 1974 RA21 Toyota Celica ST with a built naturally aspirated 2UZ out of my dad's wrecked Toyota Tundra in it. If you're new and you're wondering why I have an MR2 floating in the air in the corner of the shop, up above my head on the screen is hopefully not dandruff and gray hairs, but a link to the last video where I did some period correct rare JDM part upgrades on it. Before I can plug these in, I wanted to be extra fancy and use all the genuine Toyota shielded wire circuits from the 2UZ. In case you're not familiar with it, I just burped and swallowed it before I started talking. Shielded wire just means that there is a ground wrapped around the bundled pair of wires to block out any interference from power wires nearby. Jeez, must all become the same length. Measure 6 times, cut once. I've never field dressed a rattlesnake before, but I would imagine in a survival situation or if I was just really hungry for something weird, this is how I would do it. Have any of you ever actually eaten rattlesnake before? I'm really curious of what it tastes like, what the experience is like. Put a comment below if you have. Maybe I'll pin it. Here what I do with it. Aha! No, these are not dentures for an elderly robot. They are actually replacement pins. Being that I have 4 shielded circuits, my crank trigger, cam trigger, my VVTi1 and VVTi2 sensors, all 4 of those have to be grounded to a shielded ground circuit provided by the ECU. On the Toyota Tundra, it's actually grounded to a chassis ground. And essentially it is, it's just a little different with this ECU. Technically I could combine my plus and minus circuit for the drive-by-wire system, but in the spirit of things, a little unintended acceleration never hurt anybody. According to the 0506 Toyota Tundra factory service manual, those circuits enhance. Crankshaft position sensor, positive. Green, camshaft position sensor, positive is yellow. VVTi, positive green. I had crank set as trig 1, black. Probably looks like I'm working in a tub full of wires. And that's because I am. Trig 1 and Trig 2 are these guys right here. Now I got these extra robot teeth. So yellow is going to be my cam trig, which replaced the red Trig 2. The yellow gets inserted into the former red slot. To make things easy, the 2 VVTi sensors are on the other loom. There's 2 looms for this ECU. Oh, gray with red is on loom A. Oh, never mind. I don't want a snaggletooth stuck on this because that's how you stab your finger. There you go. This is gonna make a lot of you happy because I'm sure you're sick of staring at all these extra wires. So instead, you can stare at the out of focus side of my head while I remove them. Don't need you. Excess bonus wires removed. It wouldn't be a complete video if I didn't at least clean something. Plug this stuff in. Yes, this is super messy, but it doesn't need to be neat yet. I just need to ops check it. So I have never applied power to any of this circuit up here yet. I'm kind of nervous because it's like, oh. What the hell is that? Aha! I actually have the original ground for the engine harness for this car. It'd be a tad bit sloppy of me to do all this new wiring and use a 50-year-old piece of copper, but the plug itself, yep, look at that. Apparently 7.8 millimeter spade terminals are not that common. I had to order them. Just for testing purposes. Are you 7.8? Yes, so I got this side. Holy crap, that's super hard to crimp. Sure, this gets labeled. Hello, welcome to the following morning breakfast. 60 amp for all of the front circuit. This isn't how it's gonna look when it's finally done. This is temporarily put in place just for testing. This is a little nerve-wracking because there's a lot to test out here. Yes, I want a current draw test and go. Oh, spark, what? My tail, oh. Because this car originally only had 1 fuse box under the dash and I put in the 85 Celica wiring dash forward, the 85 Celica has the taillight and headlight relays up in that fuse box. So I've modified that wiring so that I can utilize it but I never finished because I wasn't thinking about driving it yet. I guess I gotta finish that. I just want to test the ECU. I didn't think I needed to do this just yet, but solid green and red white and red black all go to the light control switch, as well as blue red. Oh, it goes to the defrogger. Not the game with the frog, the defogger. I got some premature zip ties over here. 3B2. 3B2 is this guy right here, which I have a red and green wire, which I can verify that on the schematic for this car, red-green. So red-green becomes red-yellow at the actual light switch. I didn't account for something major. An 85 Celica has a lot more electronics. It has a light retainer relay, which integrates so that the lights stay on until you open the door, as well as the rest of the electronics in the car. Headlights, taillights, ECU, ignition, they all tie into the light retainer relay. I'm opening up Pandora's box of having to add a bunch of stuff to that car if I start trying to mess with that. The headlight relay and fuse, that's no problem, because that's all up here normally anyway on a 74, but a 74 never had a taillight relay up in the engine bay. I don't want that. This can go right back to its home where it belongs. You can go back to your home on Technology Island. That didn't make any sense. This car originally only needed 7 fuses for the whole car. Got it. And aside from the engine, it needs to stay that way. These shouldn't come on now. Aha! I did it right. This is as simple as just putting these on their original fuse from the factory when this car was new. And that will go right about there. Now it's wired exactly the way it was in 1974. The only thing that changed with this car is the engine. Ouch. The rest of the car, wiring-wise, worked fine and needs to stay the same. That actually took 2 hours and 10 minutes. And it took 2 seconds on camera. Alright, that is a full fuse box. I'm gonna have to move the wiper up to the engine bay. There's a spot for it there. There's no more room in here. This is full. Before I try to test out any sensors, I need to make sure I have the engine grounded to the chassis of the car. This is not the permanent home for this ground strap. This is actually where the hood latch goes. I'm just putting it there for now, temporary. Yes, warning. I should have no taillights coming on because the brake lights are disabled until I put a master cylinder and taillights are turned off. Nothing. Good. Just out of curiosity, what happens if I turn on the lights? Oh sweet, they work! That's wired correctly. Got functioning taillights. None of the front ones are hooked up, but to test out my standalone ECU, I have a laptop that I bought in 2006. Windows XP. It'll get the job done. Your certificate has expired. My laptop's so old I can't even open websites on here. Problem solved. I have another cheap junk laptop that I didn't think I could use because I couldn't find the charge cable for it, but I found it. Will it turn on? It will turn on! Microsoft account problem. Of course there is. Open up the software. I gotta plug in my EFI relay so I can get this thing to fire up. Battery. Alright. If I turn the key, unable to connect to ECU. Why? Why can't I connect to the ECU? I completely forgot these ECUs are shipped locked, so you can't access them. I bought it from Jimmy Oaks, so I gotta have Sir Jim unlock the ECU so I can connect to it. Had to make sure that the battery was unplugged so I don't let the smoke out overnight. Now that Sir Oaks has bequeathed to me the key, I can unlock, goes there. ECU must be connected. I am connected. Don't worry about the fact that I forgot to put a fuse in there. That might not have anything to do with it. Now, I should be able to have power. I'm going to apply power to the ECU pins and see before I actually touch the ECU with it. Yes! 12 volts! So I should have a functioning ECU if I connect the plugs. Let's see what happens. Second click. Connect to ECU. Downloading update. Updating. Yes, update. Restart computer now. I've never been excited for a Windows update before, but this means that the ECU is reading, which is good. I guess this is the downside of having a $200 computer. Come on. G5. Like the Pontiac or the aircraft? Gotta get my code off of my cellular device. Online! That's one step closer. Now, unfortunately, I have no base map for a 2UZ. Generally speaking, most of the time when people do engine swaps on vehicles and they do a standalone engine management system, they have what's called a base map. It's a file that will roughly allow you to get the engine to start. It has all the sensors kind of set into where they should be, to what circuits, and I don't have any of that. Well, this should only take me about 63 years to learn how to do every single one of these things and program them. Is there base maps saved in this? There is. So I had Altezza, JZX100, Celica ST, Atom 1UZ sample 3 years ago. What is this? Open? Might be something to work off of. Well, that's good. My engine coolant temp sensor is reading IAT. Yeah, I don't have an IAT sensor. Well, that's satisfying on a brainular level, but I need visual satisfaction. Up here, I don't know what's in there. There's like some paper in there. These are new old stock parts for a 74 Celica. I think it goes like this. This one. Wait, why is there an extra hole here? I almost forgot something critical. It's really hot out, so I'm just gonna do this indoor. Breathe in the vapors. Whew, that stinks. Oh, that's clean. Time to polish it out. It might seem like I'm getting sidetracked, but I actually have a plan to why I'm deviating from the ECU right now. Now, this goes on first. Popo's after someone. It's a little tricky to do with the glass in the door. Oh, that looks much better. There's nothing I hate more than tearing something apart that you just put back together only to have to put it back together again. Cavity wax plus. Cavity wax just sounds like something you do to get rid of unwanted hairs. Perfect. There we go. Oh yeah, that stuff sticks pretty good. It's like candle wax. And to go with the outer one, obviously I had to get a new one for the inside. Geez, those things are really in there. There's plastic on the back side. Oh, that makes sense. I got this massive piece of sheet that some body panels came in next door. So if I put this on top of this big piece of sheet, this is the smartest idea I could do. I think this side went up here. That's perfect. This isn't designed to cover the whole thing. It's designed to attach to the other plastic that's on the inside of the door. So that way it makes it easy to remove without having to replace this every time. It's crazy that this fiberboard is still in this good of shape after 50 years. And that carpet is that's perfect. All right, cool. I hate doing this to my soldering iron, but I don't have a lighter, so I should keep it from fraying. The lens is cracked, but I don't have the new one here yet, so. Wait, I know better than to do that. That's how you end up pulling a thread with your carpet. Stab, not my finger. I mounted the speaker in the same holes as before. This is not easy to trim this stuff. This is like cutting a cookie. I just gotta burn the edges. So what I'm about to do, for those of you that are not aware, I'm using TeamViewer, which is the thing that scammers use to steal all your money with prepaid gift cards. Don't ever let them do that. But also it is so people can remote into your ECU and tune it. And I'm having Jimmy Oakes, who's a fellow automotive YouTuber, who is also an engineer and a distributor for these ECUs and tunes cars. He's gonna remote in, see if this 1UZ map looks like it's something I can work with or if I should start from scratch. And then the whole point of all this is just essentially to check all the circuits and make sure everything's wired correctly. That's all that matters right now. I don't need to start the car. Hello.
Hi there.
So, do I need to send you Amazon gift cards or Walgreens gift cards?
So right now we have a bare map on the ECU.
Okay.
But we'll just set it up as like we're starting from scratch because we are. So like right now I'm just stealing the firing order information stuff from the 1UZ. You could steal data from their startup maps. Like it works pretty half decent. So what map size did you get?
1.15.
Do you want to do an injector test real quick? Make sure you got that all.
Yeah.
Booked in. Can you do me a favor real quick and just get a voltmeter and just make sure it's in 12 volts right now?
Yeah.
What about now?
I don't hear it, but the oscilloscope is going crazy on my multimeter.
You don't hear anything clicking?
No, not at all.
Can you feel it? Can you feel the injector?
Yeah, I don't feel shit. No, I don't hear it. So what I'm listening for here is the EFI main relay, which provides potential for the injectors.
I doubt all your injectors are stuck.
Which we discovered they were not once I provided a path to ground to that relay.
Then we got 3.
3's clicking.
Then we got 4.
4, yep.
Then we got 5.
Yeah.
Now, how are the coils grounded? You have them to a ground and then to the head, or how do you?
They are not grounded. That's why. It's disconnected. So that's why those weren't working. It's now grounded. Okay, so it's grounded now.
Okay. Now we're gonna try that again.
Okay.
Okay, so ignition coil 1.
Oh shit.
Shut it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
The smoke got let out.
Smoke coming from?
It's gone. Something just fried inside this little fuse box. Like 99% sure that this fuse box is smoked, literally, because the circuit card inside here, melted. What's super weird is none of the fuses are blown, nor is the fusible links. It literally, the smoke came out of the inside, the circuit card that's inside here. I feel bad for wasting an hour of Jimmy Oak's time. He probably thinks I'm an incompetent idiot right now. I figured it out. I know exactly what happened here, and it's because I did not have adequate ground. I'm an idiot. This is an easy kill. What I did was I mapped out every single one of the terminals on the back of this fuse box to where they correlate to on the front, each one of their individual terminals for the fuses and relays. And number 19 is a ground. All of these are all grounds. And I didn't have any of them bridged together on the back side of that fuse box. There should be the grounds linked to all those different locations. I only had one connected. And this is the ground for the engine bay fuse box. I forgot to put a terminal on these and hook them up. They're all supposed to go to this main ground, and I rushed to this part when I was hooking things up just because I wanted to test out the ECU. Again, I gotta give a huge shout out to Jimmy Oakes for dealing with my incompetence and losing an hour of his life that he'll never be able to get back. But at least 90% of the circuits are wired correctly. The only thing I goofed on the wiring was the 2 oil control valves, but it's a super simple fix. It's a bullshit excuse to say that I'm under a lot of pressure because there's like 650,000 of you potentially watching this. And I knew better, 100% in the back of my mind. I was like, verify your wiring first. And I was trying to do that, but I just wanted to try to test the ECU in this video, and I should have just put YouTube second and this first. So that's alright, it's an easy fix, and yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye. Later that evening, Charlie stopped by the shop and wanted to tear apart the fuse box to see what the insides looked like. So literally, the card was fine, it just cooked the grease.
Yeah, whatever it was got hot enough to cook all the grease, because you can see, like, it looks like this one got really hot, like look, the grease is all brown right there.
That portion of the card, if I think correctly, is where it goes out to the ignition coil relay. So that would have been fine.
I mean, yeah.
That sucks. Tore it apart for nothing.